Okay, now that you have Lucidchart connected to your drive, you have the file called All About Me set up and saved. We're going to go back to Drive, and since it's already connected, once you get in Drive, you should see the Lucidchart icon and the link to the All About Me that you already created. This is just saved right in your Drive. You don't have to go back to Create and then choose Lucidchart. You're just going to go to your drive, and the link to your All About Me is going to be right here. So you'll click it and it will open up. It'll say, sorry, no preview. It wants to open with Lucidchart diagrams online. That's fine. You click it and it will open your document back up and let you work with the editor. So to work with it, now that it's opened back up, you're going to see All About Me, and everything is back the way it was when we last looked at it. So we're going to add our title today to this, and we're also going to change our page setup. If you go up to View and tell it that you want to zoom to the page, you're going to see that the page is set in portrait orientation. And for our purposes, it's probably going to be better if our sheet of paper is set up in landscape. So to change the paper setup, you're going to go up to File, and then you're going to go to Page Setup, and that's going to open the page settings right here. The reason that you have the controls over here on the right hand side is because you can easily go to the page setup here, which is that blank sheet of paper. When you click it, you're going to get the very same thing. So you have page layout and you have page settings. Those are your two tabs underneath that page settings. We're going to go to page layout, and it's kind of cut off, but our page size is letter size. It's going to be 8.5 by 11, and it's set up in portrait. We're going to go ahead and change that to landscape. And then you can see just by looking at your editor that the page has changed from portrait, which is tall, to landscape, which gives you a full-size sheet of paper. It's just set up to landscape or wide orientation. So you'll want to make sure that when you get started on yours, you go to the page setup either under File or over underneath the page setup over here and add that. Okay, once your page is set up, we're going to work with text and go ahead and add the title to our document. So we're used to going over and clicking a button and then having the button load up and let us type or add shapes or draw shapes or whatever. This works a little bit different. You drag and drop it out onto your canvas. So if we want text added, we're going to grab the type tool and we're going to drag it out and drop it somewhere right around in the top. Okay, so we've grabbed our type tool and drug it. Don't click it and then try to go type text. It won't work that way. So once you drag it, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit under the view, and then I'm going to have to use the scroll bar in order to see how far in I'm zoomed. Once you have the type box or the text box there ready to go, you can see that now all of these controls are active. So we want to double click and select our text, and then we're going to add a title, and the title is going to be All About Me and then your name. So I'm going to type All About, if I can spell it, and then I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to type Mrs. Sherman. And you have to realize that even though it looks small, this is on a full-size sheet of paper. So if you want to zoom in more, go ahead and zoom. Now this font is relatively small because if you look at it, it is only 8 points. So you can size it. You see how I'm getting the two-way sizing arrow? I can click and hold down and size it that way, but it's only making the box bigger. So I'm going to undo and it'll take me back. I'm going to double click and select all of that text, and then this is where you can go ahead and change the font. So if you wanted to change the font, you can change the size. And I would guess you'll want something about 16 maybe. I need to make my text box a little bit bigger because now it's wrapping funny. So you can kind of mess around with it. If you wanted it bold, you could make it bold. If you want to change the color, you have all different kinds of color choices. You can go to the advanced and choose different colors here if you want, where you have the RGB colors, etc., and the hex numbers. So whatever you want to do with the color, I'm going to double click it, change the color to something. I'll go with red. If you wanted to bold it, italicize it, underline it, here's your centering. By default, it is centered, so that's okay. So just kind of go ahead and pick out what font you want for your title, and if you want to add fonts, you can click this Manage Font button. The Manage Font button is going to show you the ones that are currently uploaded. It's going to give you different categories. So you could really spend a lot of time looking at all of these fonts and deciding what font it is that you want to choose. If you pick one, then it's going to generate the sample over here so you can see whether or not you like it before you turn that feature on. Right now, the ones that are off are off. If you click on it, it'll change it to on, and then that font will be a choice in my font list. So you'd hit save. So what you're going to do is get your page set up to landscape. You're going to type your title in, pick the font, the color, etc., whatever you want to do with that font. And then I know it's saying all changes are saved, but I'd go ahead and go up here and hit save just to be safe. So stop, change your page size, add your title, format it,